Are you ready for career success? Your Career Podcast will help you to take control of your career. You can also find out your career success score by taking my 2-minute career success quiz. You'll get your results, analysis, and recommendations immediately. Go to janejacksoncoach.com/career success quiz. The link is in my show notes. Now, on with the show. So you've been offered the job. All your hard work has finally paid off. Congratulations. Now, think about this. Do you need to negotiate the offer? Because you don't want to blindly accept what is offered to you right from the start. So let's go through what you need to consider before you say, yes, thank you, I can't wait to start the job. Okay, so negotiation strategies. First of all, determine your needs. Most of my clients are keen just to discuss the salary when we go over negotiation strategies together, when in fact, what really needs to be considered are all aspects of the role before you pin a number on what would be acceptable to you and acceptable to them as well. So go through all of the tangible factors of the offer: the salary, the bonuses, the package, the perks, the industry that you're in, the job function you're in, the working hours, the flexibility, promotional prospects, and so on. Then go through all of the intangible factors for your own job satisfaction: the corporate culture, the team environment, the work environment, opportunities for advancement, type of manager, and more like that. Okay, so how does the offer and everything that you've learned about the company, the role, the people, and the salary package compare with your dream job? Are your must-haves covered? If not, are you still considering accepting the role? If so, what's your reasoning behind that? By making this comparison, you'll see instantly where there are areas that you may wish to discuss during that negotiation process. If the offer doesn't quite stack up for you, it's time to strategize what you're going to do about it. Now, let's think about the salary for now. Determine a realistic salary range for negotiation. Think about the following. 1, what you need to live on comfortably. 2, what you would be satisfied with, the absolute minimum you would accept with everything else considered. 3, what would you be delighted with? And make that a realistic ultimate goal, okay? And 4, the current market rate, the absolute minimum salary acceptable to you and your ultimate goal, while keeping in mind the current market rate is a salary range that you should have in your head. You can start negotiations at the higher end to allow room for discussion. Okay, that makes sense, doesn't it? The next thing is know what you're worth. Arm yourself with the facts. You won't benefit by bargaining from ignorance, obviously. So check out websites such as glassdoor.com and recruitment agency websites like robertwalters.com, for example, for their salary surveys, as they'll give you an idea of what the current market rate is in your city, in your industry, at your level within that size of organization. Scan similar jobs on the internet, as some job advertisements provide a salary range as a guide. Talk to industry colleagues for advice on what people are earning in similar positions as well. So research the company conditions is another thing you need to do. Make sure you also research the financial performance of the company, its recent staff movements and industry conditions. You can look at avention.com/OneSource for this information. You can also find it on LinkedIn when you look on their company page if you have a premium profile. If you don't have a subscription to the service, that's at Avention, check with your local library, as you may be able to gain access to their databases by joining the library. Also, check out glassdoor.com again, and you can gain company information there too. This will help you to understand the company's position and anticipate potential objections when negotiating your salary. Okay, so what's your timing? The time to negotiate is after you have received the offer, not before you've received an offer. Do not talk money until you have an offer. You're in the strongest position to negotiate salary when your employer has offered you the role, is hopeful of employing you, and has suggested a package for you. I have a plane that's flying overhead at the moment. I wonder if you can hear that in the background. If I do, I apologize. I have the door open. It's quite warm in Sydney today. Okay, next thing, consider other options. A good negotiator will enter a meeting with a range of options when deciding on how you're going to approach the negotiation process. If you believe that the opportunity to negotiate the salary is limited, think about other non-pay alternatives, such as flexible working arrangements, support for education and training. Those are potential alternatives to financial incentives. And if the job offers a clear promotion path or the opportunity to review your salary in 3 to 6 months' time, this may help you to decide what is and what is not acceptable right now. If the probationary period, say, is 6 months, you might suggest reducing it to 3 months if you were to meet the KPIs within that time frame. You can also suggest a sign-on bonus if the base salary is non-negotiable. Make sure you consider all alternatives as part of your negotiations. Okay, now also, you're not going into battle. We want to make it a win-win for you and for your new employer. Employers respect applicants who know their worth and are not afraid to have that discussion. Having the confidence to negotiate well for yourself shows the employer that you could bring these skills to the table as well. Okay, and that'll strengthen their belief that you are a valuable addition to their team. Don't fear presenting a counter to their offer. Often it's expected, and it also demonstrates a healthy sense of self-worth, which I hope by now you have. Yes. Now, during the negotiation process, remain calm. Your energy and enthusiasm must come through, not anxiety and desperation. Make sure you get it right from the start with your expectations. It's not normally possible to correct flawed negotiations in your next performance review. Unfortunately, it's important to keep in mind that negotiation is about knowing what you want, going after it, and respecting the other person in the process. The point of negotiating, really, is to reach a compromise that's acceptable both to you and the company. Okay, so now you're well prepared. How to open negotiations. Once you've gone over the documentation and have decided on what you'd like to negotiate and what your walkaway point will be, then you're ready to pick up the phone. Don't make that call until you're clear about what is most important to you. Okay? If you will not take the role as it stands with that initial offer, mentally take yourself through the process of what you will say if you are told there is no room for negotiation. If you can't take the role as it stands, then you will have to respectfully decline their offer. Don't bluff. We're looking for a situation where both parties will be happy. We are not going into battle where only one of you will win. You want to be adequately compensated for a job well done, and the employer will want value for their investment in you. So, when you have the relevant party on the phone, express again your enthusiasm for the role and ask, is there room for discussion on the package? If there is, they'll ask you, what would you like to discuss? If possible, ask for a face-to-face meeting to discuss this, as negotiations really are best when you can read the other person's body language. If they prefer to discuss immediately, you must be prepared. So open negotiations if that's what they want right away. When you do open negotiations, ask for what is most important to you first. Everything else will be a bonus if you get it, right? If you start with the lesser items on your agenda, you may find that after a few yes outcomes, it'll be harder to gain another yes when it comes to your final and most important discussion point. So the order of what you discuss is important. And what about multiple job offers or an offer from your second choice of employer? I've often received panicked phone calls from clients who have received an offer from their second choice of role while they're still waiting for the next step of the selection process from their first choice. Under such circumstances, you should contact your preferred employer and ask if you are in serious consideration for the role, as you have been made an offer and you must give your answer by a certain date. If the selection process is far enough along that they don't want to lose you, you may find that they will speed things up. Hooray! If it's too early for them to determine, then obviously the final call is up to you as to what you're going to do with that offer that you've received. So let your preferred employer know that they are your first choice. However, you now need to make a decision. If they decide to take your if you decide to take your second choice role, okay, don't burn bridges and respectfully let them know that you would like to remain in contact with them should circumstances change in the future. That all makes sense, doesn't it? Yes. And remember, you don't have to make the decision alone. Discuss it with someone you respect who understands you and also has a good understanding in your particular market. Now, if you need, you can always book a coaching session with me. Just go to janejacksoncoach.com and book an appointment with me. We can have a 60-minute coaching call if you like, and you want to discuss the whole process. Okay, so that's up to you. But armed with the relevant information and by following your gut feelings, you have the courage to make the right decision. And of course, you don't have to negotiate if you don't want to. You can just accept the offer. But if you decide to, I hope that some of those suggestions that I've just made will be helpful to you. Okay? And so, deep breath, lots of courage, and I wish you good luck in your negotiations. Thanks for joining me today. For affordable career help, please check out my Career Success Program. I provide a unique blend of online and live career coaching to help you take control of every aspect of your career or career change. If you aren't where you want to be in your career, let's talk. Check it out at thecareersacademy.online. The links are in my show notes.